When you're looking for Whirlpool innovation and quality, who has the answers, the selection, the price? Ventura TV Appliance. With billions in nationwide appliance buying power, more than Home Depot and Best Buy combined, will help you save. Our low prices on Energy Star qualified Whirlpool appliances save you energy and money and pay no interest on select models when paid in full within 12 months. Ventura TV Appliance, serving you since 1951.
Hi, I'm John Mallows, and welcome to this live edition of Connect with Me on Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6 on this Tuesday morning. And today, we're going to be talking to a member of the Fresno County Sheriff's Department. We'll talk to you about how you can secure your home, your car, and how to be safe this holiday season, and also about that one drug that is so prevalent still in the Central Valley. 436 METV option 11. Don't wade through the message and turn down the sound if you call in. Back in a moment. Welcome back to the program here on MeTV, memorable entertainment television. Connect with me, of course, each and every day, Monday through Friday. We are live at the showroom floor at Ventura TV, Comcast Channel 187 and 43.6. And yes, we do have an expert from law enforcement right here in our studio today to talk about the holiday season, how to stay safe, and also about this one prevalent drug that has been going around for a long, long time right here in the Central Valley, many years, and is still going strong, believe it or not. I'm talking about methamphetamine. It is the drug of choice in the pop culture, of course, right here in the Central Valley, and it seems like all over the country. And I have no answers as to why. I'm not sure anybody does as to why this thing is still going strong. If you look at the side effects, the ripple effects of some of these, we're going to show you that later in the program. You'll ask yourself the question, legitimate question, why would anybody, even if you're handed a handful of crystal meth, why would you want to take it? It destroys your body completely. It's unbelievable what this stuff does. And you know, this show called Breaking Bad now, this series, this television drama that's been on for a couple of years, maybe 3-4 years now. They say that this is really, I think, has really boosted the meth business. It's been good for the business of meth because it focuses and highlights the use of meth. There's this guy on there. He is the star of the show. His name is Walter White. He's a high school chemistry teacher, comes down with cancer, but then he teams up with one of his former students, and they're making meth, buying meth, selling meth, whatever they're doing, and it's highlighted in the show. It's called Breaking Bad. Take a look.
Heisenberg. Okay. Have a seat, Heisenberg.
I don't imagine I'll be here very long.
No? All right. Be that way. It's your meeting. Why don't you start talking and tell me what you want?
$50,000.
That's the show Breaking Bad, but live in our studio right now is Chris Curtice. He is from the Fresno County Sheriff's Department. He's a first-time guest here, his first appearance on Connect with Me. He'll be talking about the use of meth and what he sees from the eyes of a law enforcement officer each and every day out there in the Central Valley combing the streets. 436 METV option 11. Do not wade through the message if you have a question. We'll also talk about holiday safety and also how to keep yourself safe this holiday season. We're back with our live program here in just a moment.
One Adam 12. One Adam 12.
This is Adam 12. It stars Martin Milner as Officer Pete Malloy, Kent McCord as Officer Jim Reed.
One Adam 12, roger.
This black and white patrol car has an overhead valve V8 engine. It develops 325 horsepower at 4,800 RPMs. It accelerates from 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. It has a top speed of 120 miles an hour. The automobile has 2 shotgun racks, one attached to the bottom portion of the front seat, one in the vehicle trunk.
You want me to drive?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Back here with our program, and the focus today a little bit is on methamphetamine, and for the life of me I have no idea why anybody in their right mind would want to use this stuff. I don't care how bad your life is, and turning to this kind of drug just absolutely destroys your life. The ripple effects, we'll show you that in just a little bit. Chris Curtis from the Fresno County Sheriff's Department is here to talk about that. How are you, Chris?
Good. How are you?
Oh, good. So how prevalent is this still after all these years in the Central Valley?
I think that methamphetamine is probably one of our worst problems, one of the worst problem drugs we have out there because it is so addictive, and so many other crimes stem from the use of methamphetamine.
So many other crimes stem from it, like what?
Burglaries, thefts, vehicle theft, assaults. I mean, and I push more towards burglary because it's the Christmas season now, and I know we talked yesterday about drug addicts are going to break into your house and break into your car this holiday season, trying to get your new presents and sell them on the street for money for more meth.
Right, right. It's as simple as that. And what age groups are you looking at here? Is there any particular age group that meth actually zeroes in on?
No, it's all ages, and you can see it in people. You can see the changes in their demeanor, in their physical appearance. But there's no socioeconomic boundaries, or it doesn't matter where you live. We see it on the north end, south end, central Fresno. See it all over the county, out in the rural areas. It's everywhere.
Yeah. The question is why? Is it easy to get, easy to make, cheap? What is it?
Well, again, I don't profess to be an expert on meth itself. All I can do is tell you what I see. It appears to be easy to make, and it's very easy to get. I mean, you could probably walk right out on the street after this interview and buy meth probably within a block of here.
Yeah, I wouldn't want to do that, but believe me, after I've seen some of the stuff I've read. But I want to put up a picture of meth, and just kind of what it looks like. Is this crystal meth up here? Is that what you're looking at?
Yes.
Okay, that is. And what is crystal meth exactly?
Well, a lot of times when we see it, it comes in different forms, but a lot of times when they make it, it'll look like small crystals.
Oh, okay.
And I think there's another photo of it also.
Yeah, there it is, right there.
Yeah, and that's
small crystals.
We see it like that a lot. We can also see it in almost powder form.
Yeah, and we do have that. That's a crushed powder there. Is that coming from pills? Is that what that is?
I don't think that's coming from pills. I think that's coming from the actual meth. They can make it up that way, and but they use there's different ways to ingest it. And there's
so what do they do? Do they snort this powder? Do they swallow it?
You can snort it. You can shoot it up. There's a variety of ways just to get it in your body. I mean,
man,
it's pretty bad. And when you see, it used to be the heroin addicts that we would see when I first started. It's been several years since I started, but heroin was the big thing that you'd see all the losers, and they were always out of it. And the track marks. We always look for track marks, and now it's meth heads.
Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Your question, caller.
Hello?
Yeah, caller. You're on the air. Go ahead.
The reason I'm calling is I was just wondering. It has nothing to do with today's show that I'm watching for the meth.
Yeah.
It has to do with, I've been here in Fresno since 1962.
Okay.
And I've seen the convention center and all the projects that the city, county, or whatever has gotten into. I was just wondering if all the politicians, which I had friends that ran for councilmen and whatever, I never have asked the question, how much money, or millions, has the taxpayers put out in all the ventures that we have done, and we have lost money. I mean, the amount, I know they got to have some idea, with the stadium, with everything, with all the ventures that we did with Foster Farm and whatever. A total. They always mention, we lost 6 million here, 6 million there, with the Chihuahua, with this, with that. But never a total.
You're going to have to wrap it up really quick. Your quick question is what?
How much money has the taxpayers put out, or has cost us, up to now, and all the ventures that the city has gone into.
Okay. Okay. I'm not quite sure I get it. Do you?
I get it. That's
Okay.
How about a lot?
Okay. All right.
I'm not the politician, so.
Yeah, you're not a politician.
But I am a taxpayer. That's
Yeah, how
it's
can
been a
we
lot.
possibly put a figure on that? I mean, I don't get it. I don't know. I have no idea.
No, I'm sure it's a lot of money.
Yeah. Let's get back to the origins of meth. Let's put that up on the screen so we can kind of show people where we're coming from. Chemically altering over-the-counter drugs like ephedrine or pseudoephedrine, found in cold and allergy medicines, of course. It is available with a prescription for obesity, attention deficit disorder, and narcolepsy. Are we kind of right on here, Chris?
Again, I'm not an expert on the makeup of
but
the
close,
meth. I know
right?
the pseudoephedrine was something that was big, that they were actually
They're limiting the amount you can get, right?
Well, they're limiting it now.
Yeah.
Some 5 or so years ago, it was easy for people to go in and buy as much as they wanted over the counter. And when it got more difficult, when they started putting a limit on how many you could buy, they're actually paying homeless people to go in and purchase it at different stores all over the city and county.
Right. And then, of course, crystal meth is considered a street drug. We'll put that up on the screen as well. We'll kind of read some. Making it, of course, involves reducing ephedrine and or pseudoephedrine, combines the use of the red, white, and blue process. Red is phosphorus, white is ephedrine and pseudoephedrine, and blue is iodine. This can produce a poisonous gas and can lead to an explosion. We'll talk about that on the other side of the phone call here real quick, Chris. Good morning. You're on with Connect With Me. Your caller. Caller, what's your question?
Yeah. Hi. What can us me as a citizen do with this problem? Because I live in a what you would call a redevelopment neighborhood. I moved in here. I bought my home, but it's a nice neighborhood. But at night, once the sun goes down, you see these bikes, bikes whizzing around with lights and everything. And
so your question
who do
is
we call? What do we say?
Yeah. So your question is, what can you do?
Yeah, because not to finger people out, but usually those bikes running around at night. At all hours, those guys are up to something, and it's usually the meth heads that are doing it.
Okay.
It's difficult. I don't know what neighborhood you're in, but you're right. A lot of time there's a lot of traffic going on after dark. You'll see these guys on bikes. I know some of the smaller communities, I've seen them out on ATVs. They're doing their drug deals out in the county just outside of the small communities. The best thing to do is call the sheriff's office or call the police department, depending on where you live, and just keep calling. I think everybody knows the economic times and the fact that we have less officers on the street right now. It's difficult to get to some of the low priority crimes. If you call in a suspicious person on a bike, you may have to wait a long time, or maybe no one will show up if there are a lot of more high priority calls in front of yours. So it's just difficult. The best you can do is call the police, and every time you call, there is a record of it. I mean, the calls are recorded. The call for service goes in the computer, so it's there.
Yeah, so your call is not being ignored. It's just there are other high priority calls.
Yes.
All right. Let me ask you, I'm kind of long in this segment. I do have to go to break, and we only have a half-hour show, but I want to get back to this street drug thing. If you're doing street meth, like crystal meth, which is a street drug, it can produce a poisonous gas. Is that true? Have you been in situations where they've arrested people and there's a poisonous gas and you got to put a gas mask on?
I have not, but I know that the HIDA team, when they take down labs, things like that, they're constantly, they have to suit up for all the hazmat materials that are used, and these people that make it they just wear their shorts and t-shirts or whatever. They don't.
And they can create what is called a major explosion, right? If they're in a cabin, if they're in a house, if they're wherever.
Yes, we've actually had fires and explosions that have occurred because of labs here in Fresno County.
Yeah. Well, I got one word to use for that: stupidity. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'm glad I said it and you didn't. Anyway, we're talking to Chris Curtice of the Fresno County Sheriff's Department. 436 METV option 11. If you have any questions, we're back with our show in just a moment.
When you like Ventura TV Appliance on Facebook, it's nice. But when you love the Samsung big screen we deliver, it's even better. Our website is cool, and it's a good place to start. But you really should touch the merchandise before you buy. Time for that upgrade to an HD 3D web-enabled Samsung TV. Get the best selection, price, and service in town without waiting. Come in to Ventura TV Appliance and touch the merchandise today.
We're here talking with Chris Curtice of the Fresno County Sheriff's Department, talking about meth use, the use of methamphetamine right here in the Central Valley. I want to put up another graphic. It has the immediate effects of meth is highly addictive, as we all know and talked about. Now talk about this, Chris. It's smoked in glass pipes, much like crack cocaine. Is that true?
Yes, exactly.
That's how they do it. My gosh. And I've seen pictures of this. Females actually use it to try to lose weight.
Well,
I
I'm not a
find
female.
that hard to believe. No, but I mean, you've seen it on the street,
Yes.
right? You've actually seen these victims taking, meth, and I don't know. I guess it causes the weight loss, and then it's long-lasting, has a long-lasting high, they say, which is not surprising. But what is surprising to me is why people would take it, because if you look at the ripple effects, and you can comment on this too, I mean, these are some of the side effects, the ripple effects. Of course, it causes euphoria, increased energy, diarrhea, nausea, excessive sweating, loss of appetite, insomnia, tremors, and tremors again. I guess we get the double tremors there. Jaw clenching, agitation, confusion, brain damage. Now, if you know it causes brain damage, I know you're not an expert in meth, but why would you take it? It's like common sense.
Well, I think it's like any drug. I mean, there's probably, for 100 people, there's probably 100 different reasons on why somebody took meth for the first time. But once they do take it, some people have more addictive personalities than others. But the way I understand it is that a lot of people, when they take it, that's it. They're hooked immediately. And as far as the weight loss goes, I've never met a female who takes it specifically for weight loss. However, I have seen anybody who takes it and gets strung out on it. I mean, they lose weight. I mean, it's you can look at booking photos from people when they first go into prison, and then they get back out, and after 6 months of being on meth again, they're just all sucked up, skinny.
Skin and bones.
Yeah.
Skin and bones. Another call. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Your question, please.
Yeah, how are we doing as a county? Because they have to see it day to day of people using other drugs. From marijuana to prescription to heroin to everything else, cocaine, if they're still out there.
Well, you said marijuana prescription. I'm not sure what you mean marijuana prescription.
Yeah, I don't know. How does it compare to other drugs like cocaine and marijuana use? Is meth still number one?
I would say meth is probably the most prevalent use. Meth usage is most prevalent. Marijuana is very high. Obviously, we've had the marijuana issues in Fresno County,
right,
because of the grows we've been finding and the conflict between state law and federal law, that kind of thing, and then the medical marijuana issue.
And that's coming to a vote. I know you're not a politician, you're going to talk politics here, but it is coming to a vote, I guess, with the voters of California, whether or not to legalize marijuana. That's not going to make your job any easier.
I don't think it can get much worse. I mean, they've already, I don't want to say it's basically legal now, but the way this marijuana grows and the way they grow marijuana, especially in Fresno County lately, under the guise of being medical marijuana, is it might as well, they act like it's legal now. So the state does, and if the feds don't do it, then it's still going to be against federal law. So,
with some of the marijuana busts that you've had, are you surprised more and more at some of the locations of the grows?
No, I'm not surprised. I think we were a little...
And how it's camouflaged, too.
Well, the first grow, I remember when I was in detective several years ago, back in the early 90s, I think it was, and some of the first 3 grows that we found that were on the valley floor, when I realized that we were having this problem, they took everybody out of their units to come out and cut these things down. And we were out there, some of the most back-breaking, worst work I've ever done. It was in a cornfield, and it was unbelievable how they disguised the plants. That was on the valley floor, just outside of the city limits of Fresno. Then in recent years, obviously, it started being up the foothills, the Sierras. And once we put the hammer down up in the Sierras, now it's moved down again under the guise of medical marijuana to the valley floor. And we quite frankly can't keep up with it. There's so many grows we're finding.
Right. When did you come into the department?
In 81.
81. And in terms of drug use being prevalent, whether it's crack cocaine or heroin, and that used to be, of course, the drug of choice, now it's meth, it seems, what has changed? Are we seeing more drug dealers, more users? more people as a vast majority on drugs, or what's different about it today in 2013 than it was 30 years ago?
You know, it's interesting. Some of it's cyclical. When I first came on, heroin was still big, and PCP was really big in the early 80s. And a lot of the people that were using PCP at the time, for whatever reason, a lot of them went to prison, maybe on other charges, and it was interesting back in maybe the late 90s, a lot of these guys, we saw the use of PCP start to go up again, and even in the early 2000s, and we realized, well, these guys are getting out on the street again. And they start using their drug of choice, which was PCP. Cocaine was huge in the 80s, you know, if you remember the Miami Vice and all that. Cocaine was huge then.
Yeah.
And
Scarface, remember that movie?
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
But crank has been there throughout.
Yeah.
Now they call it meth, and it's it seems to be a real debilitating drug over a short amount of time, what it does to you physically and mentally.
Take another call here. Good morning. You're on. Connect with me. Your question quickly.
Yeah. What has the effect been on agriculture? You know, farmers, copper wire and stuff like that.
The effect of meth?
I'm not sure what the question was. We hung up on him, but the impact, I guess,
of meth on agriculture.
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest problems we have is probably the metal thefts and the ag thefts that have skyrocketed in recent years. That was one of the reasons for the formation of the Ag Task Force. Metal prices went through the roof, and they found that they could anything wasn't nailed down. These tweakers, as we call them, were stealing, and it started more in the city at first, but then they realized that the targets to target the farmers and the farmland and equipment, and it's been a huge impact on the farmer. But I think the Ag Task Force has done a good job in combating that. Some of the legislation that the Sheriff Mims was involved in, and working with the businesses that scrap the metal, the scrap yards, it makes it a little more difficult for these criminals to scrap just any type of metal anymore. They want thumbprints, they want ID, you'll get a check.
And those making meth out in, say, some farmland, some vast farmland, they're ruining the farmland because of their meth labs.
Well, that's another issue. You can see
they're destroying the land.
It
seeps into the ground. Right.
Right. We've seen labs in houses, in back outbuildings on residences. Then we started seeing mobile labs in vans, in trucks, and they could just pull up beside a river, do their thing, and leave all the trash there, and move on to the next one. And that all those chemicals that you talk about making poison gas and cause explosions, things like that, all those chemicals go into the stream or seep into the ground. And when the hazmat team or the HIDA team has to go in and I think this is the state that comes in, they actually have to scrape dirt. They have to go down so low, and not only do they take everything that's on top that we find, all the gas canisters.
How deep do they go down? Foot, maybe?
Maybe 18 inches, 12 to 18 inches, and they try to take up all that dirt also, and they've got to dispose of all of that as a hazmat.
Amazing. It really is amazing. Got another call here before we go to break. Good morning. You're on with Chris Curtis. Your question quickly, please.
Yes, my comment is, it's not really a question, it's a comment. My comment is that what you guys really need to do is put somebody on the TV that really knows about meth, because meth is very addicting. It takes homes, it takes families, it takes everything that you got. What you guys need to do is really concentrate on who's using it, because it's everywhere. Everyone's using it. It's very addicting. It's devil.
I would suggest to this caller, and he's right. He's right. And there are some.
Do we all need to be more educated about who's using it? I mean.
Well, I think a lot of, there's different areas of town. You can go, like I said, you can walk right outside here and buy meth.
Yeah.
And there's different areas of town where you might see higher usage just because of the,
But this caller's saying everybody is using it. That's a broad statement. I mean, when we say everybody, what age groups are we seeing?
You can't. It's, again, I say it's all ages, and it's all socioeconomic groups.
So you can't go to the high schools around here and say, oh, it's prevalent in the high schools more than it is in colleges.
I think you'd be shocked at how much meth is in the schools.
Man,
and
really?
what I would
Central Valley.
What I would suggest for that caller and anybody else that is listening is to go to the sheriff's website,
right,
which is www.fresnosheriff.org. Scroll down and look at the Meth Project. It is a site that we found when we were building the website that tells people a lot. At least it can educate you a lot on meth and the problems it causes. So.
The Meth Project, it's called. Okay,
Yes.
Another call coming in. Good morning. You're on Connect with Me. Your question? Well, at least you were there. Okay, we're talking with Chris Curtis. We got to take a break. He's from the Fresno County Sheriff's Department, talking about the use of methamphetamine. We're back in just a moment.
Now, why don't you tell us the whole story right from the beginning? All right, from the beginning. This is the city, Los Angeles, California. My name's Friday. I carry a badge. Police officers.
You any idea who the other man was?
My partner's Bill Gannon.
Program?
We got just one big question.
Yeah.
When?
Now on MeTV Fresno, Xfinity 187.
Talking about the use of meth with Chris Curtis. Quickly, you said it's prevalent in our schools here in the Central Valley, the use of meth, in your opinion?
I think it's more prevalent than people think. I think drug use as a whole is more prevalent in the high schools than people think.
Specifically meth, though.
Yeah, and get back to what we were talking about. If people's lives are not affected by it, I won't say they don't care about it, but they don't give it a second thought. As soon as their life becomes impacted by the use of meth or any other drug,
then they care.
Yeah.
Another call. Good morning. Quickly, your question, please. You're on Connect with Me.
Yeah, just all I want to say is just keep up the fight. You know what I mean? You're doing good. Just keep up the fight. Don't stop.
Okay,
Thank you.
appreciate it. Now, go to the website, Fresno County Sheriff's Department. It's called the Meth Project, right?
Yes, that's one of several things we have on the website. People should just go and peruse the website. There's a lot of things for the public.
We actually went there and we pulled a piece of video, a 30-second promotional video that shows the use of meth and what it can do, the side effects, the ripple effects. Let's roll that tape now and we'll...
I'm really tight with my friends. We do everything together. And whatever happens, they look out for me.
So, I mean, the pictures says it all. I mean, you don't even need to comment on that. I mean, that's what it does.
Well, obviously, there's some really hard-hitting promos that this group put out. I will say those are actors, and a lot of the people we deal with on the street are not nearly as nice-looking.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of things associated with it, and the smells, the what the people really look like, the fights. I mean, we probably get in physical altercations with people on drugs every day.
Quickly, before we run out of time, holiday season, what can you do to protect your home, your car, and yourself?
You know, since we don't have a lot of time, what I would say is make your home or yourself or your vehicle not a target.
How do you do that?
Well, lock your doors. If you have an alarm, use an alarm. Keep some lights on.
Don't walk alone.
Well, now you get to yourself. If you go to the malls when you're shopping and stuff, if you can walk with somebody else, walk with somebody else. If you feel uncomfortable because it's getting darker earlier and you're at the malls, you got to load it down with packages, ask a security guard or an officer who's out there. We've got a lot of Fresno PD, Fresno Sheriff's Office, a variety of law enforcement's out there right now doing Operation Christmas Presents. But if you can go in groups, at least two people go in groups.
Yeah.
Lock your car doors. Don't leave your packages where people can look inside and see them, because they will smash your window and pick them out just that fast. Put them in your trunk.
Yeah, and I think you told me earlier, too, hey, if you buy a bunch of presents, if you buy gifts, drive them home and then go back to the mall or the store.
Well,
because at least they're not in your car.
That's an option. I probably wouldn't do that. I'd put them in my trunk. Because if a lot of these guys that are out there looking to make a quick score are going to walk past cars. They're just going to walk between them, and they're just going to look in the windows. They're not going to look to pry open your trunk to see what you have in there, even if they saw you put them in there. It takes too much time,
right?
Exactly.
Okay.
So they'll break your window.
They're looking for the quick hit, Chris?
Exactly.
Okay, and the quick hit is looking through the window and seeing what you have. Or whatever.
We get it all the time. Smash the window, take a cell phone. Smash the window, take the laptop that people left on your. That happens all year long, and now it's going to happen more. Or they're going to try and do it more just because people are out there buying expensive gifts.
Well, Chris, it sure was good having you on the show. I appreciate your time very much. Stay safe out there yourself, my friend.
Thank you
and
very
come
much.
back again.
We will.
Love to have you on as a guest. All right, Chris Curtis from the Fresno County Sheriff's Department. That's our program today. Another edition of Connect with Me coming your way tomorrow, right here on MeTV Fresno.